We're going to cover everything you need to know when it comes to frying an egg. How to crack them, cook them, how to use those cooked eggs. Lastly, something a little bit unconventional that you probably don't want to miss. So we're going to start with some eggs. What I lack in throwing and catching, I make up for in cooking. So, yeah, don't worry. Before we get into it, let's talk about the basics of cracking an egg. Cracking the egg on the side of the bowl causes the eggshell to go inwards, piercing the yolk, leading to more broken yolks. Instead, what we should be doing is cracking the egg on a flat surface. This way the eggshell won't penetrate into the yolk. Now, this isn't foolproof. This works probably 98% of the time. The way we fish this out is we're just gonna use the eggshell itself to get in there. Just like that. Let's get to frying, and we're gonna start with everyone's favorite egg emoji, sunny side up. All right, so we just chuck in some fat, whether it's butter, pork fat, tallow. This is clarified butter. And then we're just gonna melt that. It does get a little bit of flavor, but it's mainly to lube up the pan. And this is non-stick, because eggs are sticky, and we don't want that. Pan's now lubed up, so we just go in with the egg, and the whites will start to set straight away. And you can swirl it around if you want it bigger, and then all we do is chuck the lid on it. We're just waiting for the egg yolk to develop a nice thin film over the top. And she's done. I'm gonna hit it with a bit of salt just to make sure it's nicely seasoned, and of course cracked pepper. So now we've got a nice ooey gooey runny yolk. Ooh, look at that. That's what you came for. And you want that yolk to go everywhere. This kind of egg is perfect on toast. If you wanted this runny up, you would just take it off slightly earlier. To take this up a level, use sourdough bread instead of white bread. It's just so good. And because it was over a medium-low heat, you don't get that lacy burnt stuff. It's just nice and soft everywhere. That was great. So for a breakfast muffin, we're gonna do it the same way, except we're gonna need a ring mold. And if you don't have one, we can just make one. You'll just need a bit of alfoil. We're just gonna roll this up. We just make it about this thick, which will be about as thick as we want the egg. We just keep folding it in on itself, pressing it down. Now from here, turn it, and you just roll it up into a circle. It really is that easy. But how do we stick it together? Well, if you've got a stapler, then this is gonna be much easier. But if not, join them together and then press one side over the other to make for a flat bottom. Now this pan's pretty hot. Butter goes in, make it more of a circle. Give it a swirl, make sure it's nice and coated. There'll obviously be some leakage whenever you do it this way because you get what you pay for. But just cut off the ends and just peel away the foil. Use a knife if you need to. And there you go. Everyone loves a breakfast muffin, including me. And yeah, you can make your own ring mold if you're in a pinch, but if this is something you want to eat all the time, I'd recommend buying a mold. Ooh, baby. You gotta get excited, you know? You just gotta get excited about eggs. Oh, shit. Done the sunny side up. Now, let's talk about over easy, which is basically when it's just cooked on both sides. In my opinion, this is great for burgers or anything where you're kind of carrying it. You don't really want egg yolks squirted all over your clothes. Give her a swirl. We're gonna crack this one on the bench. Not a drop of eggshell. Bingo, bango. Pan's not hot enough. So if you want to make it look pretty and it does that, you just kind of glue it back together. Should be right. Now we're just waiting for most of the whites to cook, and then we'll just give her a flip. But she will cook quick, so we're not going to spend too long on the other side. Just a couple of seconds. Make sure she's all loosey-goosey, slipping and sliding. I reckon we can give her a flip now. You can see all the whites are set. That's what we want. Now we're just going to go about 10 seconds on the other side. We want the egg to still be runny, but we just want to cook the rest of the whites, and that'll do it. She's all cooked through, but she's still runny. So now we're going for an over medium, which will be slightly, not completely set. There is an over well, but you're better than that. I'll tell you though, you just overcook the egg until it becomes nice and rubbery and yuck. We're gonna flip her over. Now instead of 10 seconds, we're gonna turn the heat off and give her about 20 to 25, just so she gently cooks. And that looks pretty bloody good to me. So she's not really wobbling, but you can tell she's not set. Over easy, you can see the egg is still pretty runny. Over medium, we'll cut but hold its shape. Over medium is one that you wanna be having on your burgers. It's gooey but not runny, so you get to enjoy the yolk without worrying about your shirt when you go back to work. Eggs on a burger, also fantastic. Shit. We're gonna stop throwing the eggs all over the place.
And now for the most useless skill that you're ever gonna need, but probably the reason why you clicked on this video. I'm gonna show you how to make a stacked yolk egg. For this masterpiece, we're gonna separate 12 yolks for 2 egg whites.
With the whites, don't throw them away. You can use them for meringue or just give them to your bodybuilding friend.
It has to be done in a small pan, otherwise the egg whites won't set. This is a cool party trick, or when you want them to think that you've got some weird monster chicken. But my favorite way to use this is to dip things in. Think chips, bread, and my personal favorite, steak.
Eggs are great and all, but if you're looking for a more complete meal, then click here to watch my pork adobo recipe.